we're the first one to the bridge.
Mayor's Bridge?
Yep. So we dug back a little bit.
I think everybody suffered at different points during that particular part of the race. We just suffered before the gun.
Yeah.
So, well, conditions were a little bit fluky, and we just got a little far north of the line and caught in no wind and headed the wrong direction, and took a little while for the wind to catch up to us. But tried to make up for some time after that.
Yeah.
The Ron Jeremy. So the Ron Jeremy is the other name for the A2, the asymmetrical spinnaker. It's big and it's sort of round shouldered, and it's a bit hairy and sweaty to get it up, but once it's up and pulling, it's pure porn. Code 5, which was actually the sail we probably used the most during this race, is pretty versatile. It can go off the wind, but it also can go when you're pointing closer to the wind or hard on the wind.
After we rounded Barnegat Light, Mike took a couple hours, I took a couple hours, and
Fresh as daisy.
perfect. I thought we were ahead of Cutlass, but they were about maybe, I don't know, a boat length.
Yeah.
I would say maybe two boat lengths ahead of us, because we had to watch the transom when we come around.
That's right.
And
Toothpaste
that was kind of
right
exciting.
behind us.
Toothpaste was right behind us,
Yeah.
and everybody kind of went a different way. Those guys
They went into a shore.
in towards shore first.
Yeah, eased their way back out. It's indicative of how close the racing is in these types of boats and how exciting it can be. And, you know, you race 40 miles down the coast in different conditions, and you end up rounding the same mark at nearly the same exact time. And then you end up back in Newport with only 3 or 4 miles apart after 260 miles of racing. And I think there was 4 or 5 lead changes throughout the course of the race, starting with the start on Saturday and all the way through. And this morning we were leading both Cutlass and Toothpaste, and we came into a very light patch of air, I guess about 8:30 in the morning. And
I take full responsibility
wind
for
just
that.
shut off. They, in the meantime, were a little bit farther offshore than us, maybe a half mile at most, and they caught a little vein of air that they continued to ride and just went out of sight in front of us. They probably had at one point 7+ miles on us.
I figured it was a horizon. I mean, they were gone. I couldn't even see them anymore. That's how far away they were. So we decided to go inside Block Island to, take our chances, and try to catch them. And it paid off.
Played in our favor. We waited a good 3 hours for the wind to fill back in for us, and what we decided was we had to get some separation from them. We just played follow the leader. We knew we would end up doing no better than what they were already in. So we headed off towards Long Island, and the wind actually worked in our favor. It slowly clocked off to our right, which allowed us to then ultimately do what's called fetching Montauk, or fetching our mark. We were able to get to it. And then once we got up there, we looked at the tide tables. We considered where they were going to be, what their position was going to be, and also what the wind looked at the time, and we just decided going to the west of Block was the right choice to make.
I told them all that we're not going to tweet anything silly, or we're gonna keep our heads down. But once we got to Point Judith, and I had to use binoculars to see the next boat behind us, I knew that we were pretty good, in pretty good shape. The best part about the tweeting and all that stuff is that I didn't have to do it. That we had a media guy on board who I could say, throw this up there, and he did it. I thought that part was great, because I when I could get my phone out, I would read what was being said, which was kind of cool. It was the first time for me in an event that was going on, and I thought it was really really cool.
I think it's fair to say Hugh and Juliana have set a new standard for interactive sports, presentation for an audience. It was actually fantastic, and I know even the Volvo 70, which is a fairly well-established race, has tried to do it, and I would stack this up to it quite easily. This was fantastic. Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom, and to my wife, Rebecca.